Go. Hello, everyone. I'm Veer. I'm here with Git. This is the moderation office hours for the Resonite platform. We're here to answer your questions for the next around 30 minutes to maybe even an hour, depending on how many questions we get. We're here to answer your questions regarding moderation, the guidelines, how moderators do their jobs, etc.
Indeed. Of course, as always, we like to say you're welcome to ask us any old thing about Resonite. It's just those are the things we know most about. We work with policy, we work with moderation, we work with business. You're welcome to bug us about those topics. We'll give you the most informed answer. If you ask anything else, we'll give you our best guess, but if it's a tech-based thing, we might point you in the direction of a better resource for it. Speaking of which, we often lead with a PSA, letting folks know that about 90 minutes from now, there's usually a Resonance-style tech podcast that follows, but I believe it's down this week.
Oh, yeah, probably. I believe so, actually.
Is flying through the air, possibly just flapping his arms real hard, possibly right now. I don't know if any of those facts were true, but it does mean that the Resonance may not be occurring today. But generally speaking, that is a great resource for tech, so we might point in the direction of that, or for instance, Probable Prime's prime time that happens on Tuesdays. See that we've already got a couple of questions coming in. One, the typical schnoppit from Grand UK, and I'm going to go with Teal. Feels like the answer today.
I'm going to throw this in the cauldron in response.
That is a response. Actions can be responses, of course. Jack the Fox Otter says, how's the moderating going? Pretty good, I should say. Things have become a little bit more steady. We had a quiet period for a while, but other than that, I can't say much has changed on our end. We've been chewing through a couple of little updates we're going to give you just in a couple of seconds. But in terms of tickets and things coming down the line, moderation has been steady, not overwhelming, not bad.
Oh, yeah. As you guys may have seen throughout the week, we have officially opened up our Reddit page. So if you go to r/Resonite, that is our official Resonite Reddit page, and you can find our new guidelines on there for the Reddit. It's pretty much the same as our Discord guidelines with a couple minor changes. But yeah, check it out. Go and, share your cool art on there, and, maybe we'll see some more traffic on there soon.
Absolutely. Should be fun and exciting stuff. Do want to see what folks kept. It's a shame that we got it stood up just after MMC. Would have kind of been an ideal place for people to show off their world and invite people to come in. But of course, if there's any MMC contestants or folks that just submitted anything, whether winning or not, and want to share it, that would be a great place to bring the old MMC worlds. I say, brought to mind by the fact that, of course, we're in an MMC world.
Yeah, today we're actually in the Shadowed Cove by, I believe, Team Vibes. It's a beautiful world. It's got some great, interesting little mechanics to, try out. I'm going to throw another thing in the cauldron. I think it only takes 3 things, and I think technically there's 2 right now, so maybe this will activate it. Evil tentacle monsters? Oh boy, something's going to happen.
What have you done?
Butterflies. Cool.
I mean, that does track. We put a large number of butterflies in there. Also, weirdly on theme with the previous answer. That's why it's teal. Turns out we planned all of this 4D chess. We're very good at this.
Oh, definitely.
It is a very lovely world. I heartily recommend people coming by and checking it out.
Yes.
Well, it seems a little bit quiet over in the over in the chat, so I'm going to lead with our usual PSAs. There's also one other update. I guess we can throw it on the line. We'll get to the streaming PSA in half a second. We have also added guidelines for posting to the GitHub. They are pretty much following the same line as the sort of thing you saw in Discord and Reddit. We're not trying to make things particularly rule heavy here. The general rule of thumb you're going to find for most of our social or feedback collecting locations is just don't be a dick. Be kind to one another, be kind to the devs talking to you, and you're going to be butterflies. You're going to be butterflies. That's what happens. If you're nice, you turn into a teal butterfly and you come out of the cauldron behind us, but more saliently, you'll be perfectly fine. That's really all we ask of folks.
Definitely. How, where, why?
That's a number of questions.
And what is the dog doing? I'm doing
Expecting
fine.
Answers to each.
Right. I'm doing fine. I just told you where we're at. Shadowed Cove. Check it out. It's awesome. Great world. Why? Because I'm scheduled to be here every Sunday at 4 p.m. EST.
Same bad
And
time, same bad channel.
what is the dog doing? I am currently throwing a chair into the cauldron.
Oh, that's... I don't know if we're supposed to go in there. I'm a little concerned, to be honest. Are chairs going to come out of the cauldron? Butterflies are manageable, but I don't know if we get an eruption of chairs, if we'll be fine. Oh, it's turning purple.
Uh-oh.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it's happy or if it's not.
Jack the Fox Otter gives us, do you think K-means clustering could be a good fit for computing optimized GIF color palettes? This is an excellent example. I'm half inclined to think Jack just gave us the type of question where we're going to go, maybe. I don't have the technical knowledge to give you an answer for. Great thing to bring to the Resonance or to bring to prime time. We do, of course, have engineer office hours if you want to get into the nitty-gritty details of how the engine works and what sort of upgrades could be showing up in the future. I can't personally comment on K-means clustering. I remember reading something to that effect in the recap stream as we typed up things that people were talking about, but I couldn't tell you the difference between optimizing GIFs. I'm not even certain entirely if this is a joke question. But, I can point you in the direction of better folks to answer those technical questions if you would like to. Of course, if you ask me a slightly less nitty-gritty detail tech question, I might be able to give you a better answer on my own, but I'm definitely going to always point you in the direction of the Resonance. Again, typically just an hour and a half after our show, or prime time, which can be found 7 p.m. In the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, head over to the Resonite Discord, which I think we just have I think it is just /Resonite or Resonite VR?
r/Resonite?
Discord. Yeah, for our Discord.
Wait.
Very easy to get to. Very easy
we're
to
talking the
search
Discord.
regardless.
Never mind.
Yes.
I'm still on the Reddit.
The Reddit's also, yes, just Resonite. Good source to ask questions, but generally, if you want to talk to a dev, head to Primetime, head to the Resonance.
Yep. Ooh, Nanotopia. Looking forward to trying out the new audio system. Meanwhile, a burning question maybe touched on previously. Always feel free to ask us questions you think may have already been asked before. That's totally fine. Native search functionality within the components, please. Not a mod would be fantastic. Put it on our GitHub if it isn't already there. If it is already there, give it an upvote. That's how we know that our community needs and wants it, and then we'll try to fit it in.
Absolutely. We can echo these sentiments when we hear them from office hours, so when those conversations come up, we can reiterate it. But GitHub is by far the best option. Me and Veer talking in weeks or however long down the time, hey, a guy mentioned he liked this thing, isn't as compelling a case for putting it in as having a whole bunch of folks upvote a GitHub issue and comment in the GitHub issue talking about how useful a thing would be to them. Decoy says, hello, Decoy, welcome. Nuki asks, would you... Well, no, I can't answer this one.
Oh.
I mean, I guess I can. Nuki asks, would you rather be called a weirdo or a Veerdo? And I'm going to actually say I'd prefer to be called a Veerdo. That sounds hilarious. It'd be very confusing. I'd laugh, but it'd be funny.
Oh, man. Yeah, you know what? Probably a Veerdo. I think it would hurt just to be called a weirdo. You know what I mean? That sounds painful. Veerdo, though? I'm just confused.
Oh, Nuki says, following up on our previous comment while talking to Nanotopia, that's on GitHub. Reminder that this is the moderation and community team, not the dev team. Ow. Ow. Ow.
All right, just jab us in the heart.
We're both founding members of YDMS, the whole studio. We've been here for half a decade. Anyways.
Listen, there is a skeleton and a dog on screen. Like, between the two of us, maybe there's a few brain cells. I'm not sure.
That's true. That's true. For clarification, we consider the dev team, or we'll refer to the dev team as all folks that are part of YDMS Studios, or as a whole. Then inside of it, we have our sort of subcategories. The engineering team is typically what we will sometimes colloquially refer to as the dev team. The guys that are actually doing the tinkering, building the engine, writing the code. And for that, of course, we have a growing team. In case anyone's unaware, it'd be weird for you to get the announcement from me here, but we have a new member, Godly. Godly has joined, and he's going to be helping out with a bunch of stuff, including fixing up both, more generally helping the dev team, but also working with cloud infrastructure and the website, I believe, are the main priorities. That's just main priorities, though. Folks can help out in all sorts of places if they would like. Nuki-kun clarifies, all programmers are dogs, too? No.
Also, what was that sound?
I don't know what Prime is, to be perfectly honest. An entity.
Sometimes
mask,
cheese.
cheese.
Maybe sometimes a bunny.
Not a dog, like occasionally a bunny, but never a dog. So no, our programmers are not all dogs, though there is a number of canine adjacent individuals among them. That seems the case. I'm pretty certain Frooks is space
Sponge.
Sponge. Also,
Space
like 30% soap at this point. I don't know where the bubbles come from, but it's
because he's a sponge.
probably
Dish
not
soap.
dog. Oh god, that explains it and confuses me further. Look, we've got questions. Almost none of these. We're going through them anyways, because if you ask us questions, we're somewhat obligated to at least answer them. Grand UK says, would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses? I'm going to go with 100 duck-sized horses out of this often comparison. I think it's pretty common as far as answers go. I'm pretty certain horses break their legs if, like, the wind blows too hard, and if they're duck-sized, they're not very intimidating to me. So, but like a horse-sized duck, I don't know how that goes. Ducks can be pretty fierce. So
yeah, ducks are kind of scary. I definitely wouldn't want to fight one that's like, listen, that's a dinosaur. What you're talking about is a dinosaur, like a raptor. You know,
and now you've made it raptor-sized or more. That's like this is not a great combination. I'm staying away from the duck-sized horse, whereas 100. Oh, sorry, the horse-sized duck. Whereas 100 duck-sized horse is much more manageable. Also, if I climb anything, I don't think horses are great at climbing.
True.
Historically speaking.
Any updates? Oh, this is from Jack the Fox Otter. Any updates on the planned mentor thingy Veer teased 2 office hours ago? So, no. Between illnesses, not just myself, plus changes of plans and whatnot, it got pushed back a little bit further. Sorry.
Sometimes plagues slow things down a smidge.
Just a little bit.
How do I shoot the boop? I think there are a number of tools in Resonite that would assist if one wanted to shoot the whoop, but I can't help you in terms of purely instructional fashion.
I haven't seen that phrase in a while. Shoot the whoop. Frooks is a space sponge. Yes, I think. I'm not sure. You might have to ask him.
There are a number of answers that have been received, all of them fairly concerning. Maplar says, new conspiracy theory, Prime is feta piloting on Android. That certainly seems possible. Okay, Nuki follows up with an actual question. Suggestions for the new Explore section of the Avatar station. It has some world links and explanations of how to host worlds and an intersection with community content. They're asking what else would be cool inside of that. I mean, my lazy butt always wants to encourage people towards places that are going to be helpful to get news, know what's happening, what's kicking around at any given moment. So I'd probably ask if you could direct people towards, say, like the meetup channel that happens in Resonite, Discord, so folks know what's happening or going to be happening sometime soon. But that's off platform. I think you've got a good spread of things on platform.
You know what? My suggestion would just be simply pointing out the world's menu, like in the dash, and maybe even just a slight explainer on how to navigate it a little bit. It is a little bit unique in its design, and sometimes people don't realize that, like, in that everything tab, the world to the top left, the worlds that you're not in to the top left and onward are the most popular worlds or populated worlds at the time, and I feel like that'll help people actually get around and communicate with people.
Certainly good. Still, I'm going to cough one moment, squeeze out a chunk of lung. I wasn't using it anyways. And then slide us towards some PSAs as we have rolled through our questions. We often get the usual PSA here that we're going to have a raid at the end of stream. And if you are a new and upcoming person inside of the Resonite community who'd like to begin streaming, we strongly encourage you to begin doing so basically now. Anytime from now till like the top of the hour is potentially when we could close off our stream. And every time we close off our stream, we raid. We actually aim for the smallest stream that we can find. That's Resonite, and is not containing like adult content or anything of that nature. It has to be family friendly and generally in English. Decoy says, Resonite says you should stream now. That is the case. I don't know if I'm Resonite, but part of Resonite is saying you should stream now. And then we might throw a raid at you. Of course, it'll actually last a little bit longer today, because again, the resonance is probably not occurring. Folks tend to float back towards the resonance when it kicks up. If that's not happening today, you might get folks who are a little bit longer.
Yeah, definitely. Here's that squeaking sound again. I think it's time for me to put something else in the cauldron.
More butterflies. Are the cushions going to have wings?
I don't know. That would be kind of scary.
Oh dear.
Something's happening. Cool.
It rejected that or just gave us fog? I don't fog. Lots of fog at that.
Try not to breathe it in. I'm not sure if it's safe.
I mean, that's not a big problem for me.
Uh-oh. It's kind of a big problem for me.
Nuki says, I have been updating, just a PSA, I've been updating the avatar station and y'all all should look. I will be looking for volunteers again to bring in more avatars. Thank you for passing that on, Nuki. For folks unaware or new to our stream, the avatar station is an excellent resource for running down avatars. Certainly if you have, say, new friends you're bringing on platform, you want to show off a bunch of things they can grab, those avatars are generally, to the best of our ability, or Nuki's ability, as Nuki's the steward of the station, copyright free, good to be shared out, good to be grabbed at any point, so you don't need to worry about any of that business when you're coming into the avatar station.
Nuki's asking for suggestions on things to do in your Resonite stream. Explore. There's a lot of new content out there, like tons of new content. And definitely check out that MMC 25 channel. Channel? I don't know what to call it. Category. Yeah.
You could do a review of all the winners.
Oh, yeah? That would
give them a 10 out of 10. Oh, Nuki mentions they'll be updating the USFN homeworlds. For folks unaware, USFN is, I believe, one of the biggest communities we have here on Resonite. I'm actually not entirely certain what the rankings for community sizes would be, but they're present. There's a large number of them. They're friendly. Go say hi.
Definitely. Let's see, what time is it? Okay, we've got about 12 minutes left until around halfway through the hour. That's usually where we cut off if we slow down on our questions. So if you guys have any questions for us, make sure you're putting them in the chat here, and give them a little question mark that puts it up on our pinned messages board.
I'm going to give the general spiel for other places you can talk to us too. It's a quiet day today, so why not get into the other resources? One of the things we always check, for instance, I'm checking right now and seeing nothing exists, is places you can get questions saved for the moderation office hours. If you come up with something you want answered and it's Wednesday and you're like, there's no way I'm going to remember this by Sunday, I will just be too distracted. That's understandable. I'm much the same way. You can head to the Resonite Discord, and there will be in the office hours forum a thread that's pinned at the top for moderation office hours. It's an archive. You're welcome to drop your message in there, and we will check it in quiet moments like this and tell you when we've done so, so you can go check the VOD for that given day. Gives you a nice way to still get your answer. And certainly, of course, if you have any friends that would like to come to the office hours and yell at the skeleton and dog, but unfortunately are on the wrong side of the planet and consequently dead asleep right now, feel free to tell them to make use of that resource. It's a good way to still get some interaction.
Definitely.
And there is one other, which we always like to mention, which would be the ticket system. Of course, the ticket system is sort of there for reporting other players, security issues, a number of useful categories, but one of them, which is also useful, I should say, is general inquiries. You're welcome to go to the ticket system and just throw a text question at us, and we'll give you the response in text. This is particularly handy because we will always let you, there's no confidentiality for our response. Anything we tell you in the ticket system, you're welcome to take a screenshot of and post in your world. We're perfectly happy to settle any sort of disputes or ambiguity for how the guidelines might apply to a situation by giving you clarification for how that guideline works. And of course, that could be helpful for someone setting up either session rules or just, trying to make sure that there's no confusion around this or that guideline.
Yeah.
Oh. Decoy says, is there an official stance or guideline for recording in public sessions? Of course, there is common sense in having a large live badge over your name, though. Is there anything in particular that someone would avoid or be mindful of? The first that comes to mind, weirdly, on the topic of session rules, is that you should be mindful of session rules. Sometimes there are folks who dislike being recorded online. One of my first and consistent recommendations to those people is host your own space. Put a rule at the front entrance that says no recording in this space. It's your domain. You are allowed to do that. You can put a rule above and beyond what we have laid out in our guidelines. And of course, if you're looking to record, you're just starting your own streaming channel, much like we've been encouraging folks to do so we can raid them. And you wander into a world and it says, please no recording here, please no streaming here. We're not going to jump down your throat if you joined and saw the sign, but we would ask, yes, you oblige by the rules when you encounter them like that. And in that instance, you would want to back out.
Yep. Definitely.
That said, outside of course, being accommodating of session guidelines, there's no, it doesn't count as harassment to be recording in public, open, available sessions. Of course, if you are streaming to platforms, we always tell you, please be compliant with all of the rules and guidelines, policies, etc. of that platform. If you're on Twitch and you're streaming content that might be allowed in certain circumstances on Resonite, but not on Twitch, don't do that. Remain compliant with Twitch whenever streaming to Twitch. You could both get in trouble yourself and get us in trouble if you were recording and streaming things that Twitch is not kosher or doesn't find kosher.
Definitely, yeah.
But those are generally the main things that come to mind when it comes up with recording, streaming, otherwise, and engaging with video. You just put a bottle in there, sir.
Yeah. In fact, all it needs is one more item.
I'm putting a lamp.
We have no idea what's going to happen. This is great.
Decoy asks, does the name Snackmaster87 sound familiar? So, that's concerning.
Apologies, Decoy. It doesn't sound very familiar to me.
We will note, of course, we as we occasionally tell people while tentacles flail in the background and maybe attack beer, we don't talk about tickets. So if anyone comes to our stream and mentions a name or something that could potentially be part of tickets, we're not going to talk about that sort of stuff. This instance, I don't believe it would apply anyways, but no, that obviously we're not going to be like, yeah, we know that guy. We're aware of him because of the things we did. No. The general policy that we've always reiterated on this channel is we're never going to talk about specific incidents or past tickets or anything of that nature. Your privacy, even if we're just handing out account restrictions to you, is important to us. So we're never going to bring that sort of stuff up. What? Nuki asks suggestions for setting up a sci-fi full play roleplay in Resonite. Get a DM, get a bunch of avatars, pick a world that's really cool, and let her rip.
Oh my god, this thing's gonna terrify me. Alright, I'm summoning something else, whatever it's going to be. Shoo! This world's a lot of fun. Alex Boot says, this might be more for chat, but is there a way to check what perm a user has with Flux? That is a good question for the chat. I don't know off the top of my head.
No, not 100% off the top of mine either. I believe that is available, but I could be wrong. Yeah, no, that'd have to be a broader discussion. Of course, as we always like to do, we can point in the direction of, again, the Resonance and Primetime. Alex, I don't know if you're in the Resonite Discord, but I'd encourage you join it every single Tuesday at 7 p.m. EST. You have a Prime who knows all the things, or damn near all the things about Protoflux. It's in our Discord, posted as a community stage event. So you can pop in there, drop questions for him.
Yep, definitely. Nuki's asking for suggestions for... Oh, I think you answered the sci-fi roleplay one, did you?
Sort of. Suggestions for making it open to the public. Well, when you open up the dash, you can click over. Yeah, telling you just to click it public is probably not helpful, but what do you mean? You're like managing a large number of people coming in or getting people to recruit? My general recommendation, if you want people to pile in for that sort of thing, would of course be to make use of the meetup channel. If you're just trying to get folks around because you don't have a crew of people to do it already. Again, everyone is allowed to use the meetup channel. Do you have a keyboard? Do you have access to Discord? Yes, you can go into the meetup channel and you can put a post in there and recruit people for cool events you're hoping to run in the future.
Nuki asks, why is it shuffling the words as I type them? I don't know. That sounds like a problem.
That is peculiar. I don't believe that is a thing we can affect.
Also, ensure that you're...
Are you doing well?
Yeah, get yourself a glass of water, too, just in case.
I've had days like that.
Yeah. I mean, last office hours, I was dealing with head fog from the previous flu, so I get it. It's going around.
Decoy follows up with Alex's question earlier. If they recall correctly, not particularly, you can check role names, but as roles can be renamed, it's not a reliable way of checking. Yeah, you might need a bit of a deep dive. There are some wacky workarounds the community have occasionally come up with for the strangest of tasks, so definitely a question worth bringing to the broader Discord. You can find a number of channels in there where folks like to both present and then sometimes talk through the most arcane and bizarre of protoflux questions. Nuki says, waiting for Resonite to load so I can stream it slow today.
Huh.
Maybe the computer's having problems. I don't know of any problem that would shuffle the words one's typing, but maybe some issues occurring.
It's strange.
Still, we are 3 minutes before the top of the end of the half-hour segment, I should say, not top of the hour. So if you are sitting on a question, now's a good time to get it out. We'll probably be wrapping up at about half hour past, or at least moving into the mode where we start trying to look for someone to raid. So if you are considering running a stream, now would be an ideal time. Resonite Man says, stream now.
In fact, I'm going to get that dashboard up here just in a moment.
Remember, folks, it's a bit of a reverse competition. We are looking for folks who have no audience, that are brand new, that only have one or two people putting an eyeball on them. If you have a bunch, that's not bad. Obviously, we're perfectly happy to throw a stream at you, and it's worth doing because it's not usually a terribly busy time block. But, yeah, if you're small and you're worried because you're small, don't be. We're looking for small people.
Alex Boot says, I'll guess the simplest solution will be just limiting to be used if the user is the host for now. I suppose I have no idea what your project is, yeah, but it sounds like it's going to be interesting. But definitely check the Discord too. You can ask there. There's going to be plenty of people in there that can actually just help you out. We got a mentor team. It's massive. So many people in there that are willing to help out. In fact, you can actually tell who is a mentor on the Discord by their green name and the green light bulb badge.
This is true. Very helpful people.
Neat. Decoy.
Book, butterfly, and a candle in.
Decoy asks, what if I'm small? Bird size. That's too small. In fact, it's very small.
Apparently that's how you make money.
There's money now. Nice! So don't tell the government that we just found out how to synthesize cash from a cauldron using home items. Okay. Oh yeah, Lexivo does make a point that the Mentor Discord badge is indeed optional. So not everyone who is a mentor on platform is necessarily going to have that mentor badge in the Discord. But if you look around in Resonite, you'll also see people with the mentor badge, which is a green light bulb.
Now we're sitting here 30 minutes past, so get those streams revving, get those questions in. And if you haven't already started typing the question, I'm going to ask you to either take it to the Discord archive thread for next week, over to the ticket system so we can respond in text, or just hold on to it. We'll be back. Not next week, probably.
Currently,
it's kind of an awkward end. Next week is Easter, and there's a solid chance we are not hosting office hours next week. But we'll be back in 2 weeks' time. Same bad channel, same bad time.
Watch me forget about Easter, and I'm just gonna be like, "Hey guys."
There may be one of us here. We will see. I think I'm stolen by family for most of that day.
Oh, I might be too. Yeah, I might not be getting away with it. Oh well.
At the very least, in 2 weeks' time, we will be back.
Yeah. I'm gonna once again check the channels here to raid. Currently I'm only seeing Raider Jam. Wait a minute. There's Nuki.
Alex says I've created a video or voice command ring that allows the wearer to do things like spawn a cube, make a screenshot, take a selfie, but also open Inspector and make stuff bigger and smaller. That is very cool. They do note that it can be used for bad stuff, and it's always good to think about how security is going to play when making really neat items that have a wide range of abilities, shall we say. So it's a good train of thought to be on for trying to lock that one down to something a little bit safer, but it sounds pretty cool all around. Best of luck with the work.
All right, folks, I'm going to go ahead and start the raiding process here. We're going to be raiding Nuki's channel.
Say hi to Nuki from us, though also I'm pretty certain Nuki's listening, so hi, Nuki.
Yeah, hello. We're going to be
enjoy the stream.
Raiding in maybe 10 seconds. Twitch seems to be slow.
Weird. It's thinking about it. We'll be raiding at some point. Thank you for all the questions, folks. It's been a fun one. A little bit quiet, but always good to get some of the usual PSAs out, point people in the right direction again. Best of luck with all the projects people have been working on. And I hope everyone has a fantastic Easter if we don't catch you next week.
Yep. Thank you, guys. And we will see you guys next time. All right, folks, say hi to Nuki for us. I'm clicking the raid button right now. Bye, guys.
It's going. We're raiding.
We're doing it.
It's gone. Okay, good lord, my legs hurt.